Hello everyone and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah and today is day 14 of our Minimal May series here on Abundantly Minimal. Every day during the month of May I'm posting a new video related to a different minimalist topic. And today this one is a little bit more straightforward. I have talked about this a bit more in depth on the Abundantly Minimal podcast that my husband and I do together, but I actually haven't made a video dedicated to this, so it seemed like it was appropriate time to talk about why I became a minimalist. I'll try to keep it as minimal in terms of time as possible, but in general, I became minimalist, started about 2 years ago. I was prompted because I saw a TED Talk by the Minimalists, and I really enjoy their work overall, but we watched a TED Talk about it and I was like, wow, this is actually a really great concept. And after watching that, I kind of consumed more of their media, read some of their blog, watched some more videos, listened to their podcast, and it made a lot of sense to me. I was at that point about 1 year out of college and I've been living in this apartment with Jake, and we had accumulated so much stuff, and we had so much stuff like we couldn't keep track of. We didn't really know everything that we had. Our office space, which I'll probably do a tour of our office a little bit later on in another video, but our office space was not quite floor to ceiling, but for sure floor, like boxes of stuff. And it was just kind of like a dumping ground of stuff. It was terrible and embarrassing, and we would just keep the door closed when people would come visit us. And so it got to a point where it was just too much. That's then when we decided to start trying to simplify our lives and minimize some of the possessions we had, started to apply this minimalism into our daily life. And that's when we really started to see some really big improvements. By nature, I'm kind of a messy person. It's easy for me to get things disorganized. I tend to know where things are and I don't tend to lose things permanently, but I hate that feeling when you're searching for something and you can't find it. And having so much stuff, it felt like it was a regular occurrence happening. And so because of that, this minimalist idea was really enticing and I saw a lot of good potential for it. Now, what we first started doing was just kind of going through area by area and trying to get rid of a lot of the excess. So we went room by room, clothing, living room, kitchen, a variety of things, and that really helped. What I've also found is that over time, it's just been a very gradual progression. So we haven't ever gone like completely, I guess, cold turkey. I don't want to use that, but basically we haven't jumped in completely and just gotten rid of everything all at once. It's been very much an overtime thing. It's been about 2 years and we're still working on it. But where we are now compared to where we started has been a huge difference. So that's really helped. I think one thing that's important when you watch videos, if you're consuming other media from other minimalists who, especially the ones who manage to live in a van or have 100 items or less, like those kind of people, I think can be like, wow, think about that life. But you don't have to go that far. I kind of see it as a spectrum. So you might be that far on the spectrum, which is great if you are and if it gives you value. But if you feel like you're coming more so from the side of owning a lot of stuff, then don't feel like you need to just suddenly get rid of everything. I mean, we've definitely got rid of so much, but there's still things that we hold on to, and I mean, again, still things we work out. Sometimes your ideas change what you still want, and over time, certain things that used to be hard to get rid of have now become easier. So that's really cool how that happens too. For us, as we've gotten rid of things, it has definitely helped keep things cleaner, although still, especially if it's a busy week for me at work or school, it's tough for me to keep up with things. So I'm just really appreciative. I can't imagine how bad things would be at certain times if I had so many items. It's helped a lot from a money saving perspective. Ironically, originally I was like the opposite of a minimalist in some ways because I was trying to save everything, thinking if I saved it now, I wouldn't have to buy it in the future. But then you realize after a while that certain things you just don't need, and there's no point in you having. I think what's interesting when we're talking about like organization compared to minimalism is that in some ways organization, maybe people associate with minimalism. Like if you have things organized, then they look better and it's, less stressful, whatever. But if it's organized, you still have the item, and even if it's organized, it's still there. You're still gonna have to go through it later and deal with it later. Minimalism is the idea that if you don't need it now, you're probably not going to need it later, and you can get rid of it. Let it be used for some other purpose, for someone else. So I think that was a big motivator for me to be practicing more minimalism. And I think I have saved a lot of money since, because once you realize what your needs are and you reflect on how much you actually need, you realize it's much less than what you were actually buying before, and then it can therefore save on cost. And you're much more selective when it comes time to bring something new into your life, because you might not actually need that and you don't want to bring something in that you're only going to have to get rid of later on. So I think that can be really helpful too from a financial perspective. Where do we plan on going forward? Well, we are going to be moving in a couple months, and so I think that will also serve as a really great opportunity to practice minimalism, because we'll have to really think anything that we bring with us and pack with us has to be specifically packed, but then also unpacked, and a new place to find for that item in the new apartment. So I think it will be really interesting to see how things go from there, and hopefully will also help us continue simplifying. I think it's something that it just makes you feel good when you're able to let go of something, and the fewer items we have, I think the more power we have over our items rather than the other way around. And so if we have more of this power, we can take it back. It just allows us to feel better mentally and emotionally. Sometimes these items carry negative emotions, and when we get rid of them, the absence is just kind of like an open mind or a clear mind. But those are some of the reasons why I became a minimalist. Let me know in the comments if you consider yourself a minimalist. If so, why did you choose to incorporate more minimalism into your life? What has it done for you? If you aren't, what's something that's holding you back? I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and may even use some of your suggestions for a future video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next Minimal May video. Bye guys!